Alright everyone, welcome back to I Love You Colonel Sanders. I've loaded up the next part in the dating simulator since we don't exactly have save files, and I've tried to skip over all the dialogue and stuff and make the same decisions as I did yesterday. So we'll just get into it. Just to recap, Ashley and Van had the book that looked kind of evil. I don't know, it was like secret recipes or something. And Clank was late, and I guess we're about to get started, so here we go. Just then, Sprinkles arrives to signal the true start of the class day. He's panting, which doesn't seem that abnormal. He's a professor, but he's also a dog. Students, please take your seats. I apologize for my late arrival. I spent the morning chasing a car all around town, and my tiny legs are very, very tired. But I'm here now, and I hope you're ready to learn. Rub his furry dog belly. He loves it. Sprinkles stops in his tracks and sniffs the air around you. Something has him in a trance. It's the scent left on you from Colonel Sanders. Sprinkles jumps on you and licks your face.
Down, boy, down. Auf the bin.
That command, shouted by Colonel Sanders, has snapped Sprinkles out of his trance. I wonder what's up with that. Sorry, I got a little carried away. After he catches his breath, Sprinkles regains control of the classroom. Without further ado, we'll review the global history of my favorite fowl, the chicken. You want to pay attention to the lesson? Truly you do. Which is why in 1776, at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it was a chicken who first signed their name. But you can't help but daydream about Colonel Sanders, and you miss most of the important parts. When you come to, Sprinkles is holding a tray of food in front of you. Well, LotusLeaf? Actually, this appears to be a sample platter. Which item do you want to sample? A glass of water, a shimmering pepper, a dog biscuit. This is interesting. Normally I wouldn't do a shimmering pepper because, you know, I'm a little careful about spicy stuff. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be... Like, why would I need to taste a glass of water? And why would I need to taste a dog biscuit? And I guess, you know, pepper could be one of the ingredients for KFC's secret chicken, so we'll go with that. A brightly colored pepper stands out from the other items. It sparkles in a most eye-catching way, so naturally you reach out, grab it, and eat it right away. However, your body is not prepared for the heat, as I thought. The pepper has triggered an intense spice hallucination. It feels like forever as you trip through the universe. Spice hallucination, I definitely have not learned about that yet in medical school. My friend, oh. This guy again. I'm here to give you an important message about, you must avenge my death and fulfill your destiny. All you must do is... I was saying, to fulfill your destiny, all you must do is... Sorry, I think I've got some spice stuck in my throat. It's fine, I'll work through. To fulfill the prophecy, you must... You feel yourself begin to regain consciousness. Oh man. You come to and find everyone is staring at you. That pepper was the last of its kind on Earth, and now it's gone forever. You think to yourself, geez, I should pay better attention. We all make mistakes, and I'm sure he'll forgive you, someday. Come on, it's time for lunch. Before anyone can relax, the cafeteria lights dim, and your arrivals entered to make a dramatic announcement. Today's lunch will be prepared via timed competitive cook-off. The level of theatrics with these two is off the charts. Ooh, so we could demand that they stop wasting everyone's time, or we can stand up and tell them, you're on. we're obviously going to stand up and tell them because they're, you know, reproachable people. So, a bit of lunchtime competition, huh? Count me in. If I have to wipe the tables with you fools before I set my lunch down on it, so be it. I am not the fool, you're the fool. Fool.
Ah, good one, Van Van. I like your gumption, LotusLeaf. I'll be watching your performance.
Just as things reach a boiling point, Sprinkle steps in. Surely he'll put a stop to this madness. Now, students, please settle down. This is a lunchroom, not a sportsing court. Finally, a little sense. You breathe a sigh of relief. At least not until we turn on the timer. Just then, a huge light blasts you in the face, flashing the words, "Timer ready." That's what I'm talking about. Aru. I stand corrected.
The hard way builds solidly a foundation of confidence that cannot be swept away. And that's an original quote by me, in case anyone was wondering. I hope the message lifts you to victory.
Like a diamond, I was formed under pressure, and now is my chance to shine. I will defeat you myself. You had his chicken, and you made mashed potatoes and gravy on day one, and you're feeling like you can really impress him again here. It's time to boil some water for the potatoes. Think fast. If the timer runs down, you'll be forced to pick randomly. Okay. Let's bring all our culinary expertise to this competition. What water does temperature boil at? It's 100 degrees Celsius. That's right, but how would you have ever gone to the school without knowing that? Winter. Winter gets to rub my furry belly. Let that enticing offer motivate you. You're going to need to season this chicken before you cook it. You don't know Colonel Sanders' recipe exactly, but you have an idea. How many herbs and spices did he say he used? 11. That's right, you might not know all the ingredients yet, but at least you're headed in the right direction. Tail wagging intensifies. Now that you've got some basic steps going, it's time to elevate your craft. What state of mind offers the most flavor? What? This is not what. Oh, son of a. Trust that is wrong. I'm begging you to get it together. Get it? I'm a dog. It's never the wrong time for some dog jokes. Next question. Your classmates are rooting for you, but Ashley is simply stronger and faster than you. You better pick up the pace if you want to survive. When you were a child, your father told you to never forget where you came from, and every day you meditate on his advice and draw energy from that place. Now would be a good time to harness that energy. So where does it come from? Small town where... son of a... This is a horrible time to start forgetting important things. Alright. You try to shut out the noise of the arena. Focus on your cooking. What is the sound of success? Sizzling. What? That is wrong. Don't make me get the spray bottle. Alright, is this the end? Yep. Game over. Let's try again. Okay, before anyone can relax, the cafeteria lights dim. Okay, let's skip this bit a bit. Alright. Temperature water boils at is 100 degrees Celsius. Alright, blah blah blah. Alright, we know there's 11 spices. Offers the most flavor. Gratitude. Cool. Alright, that's the same. Alright. Where did our father come from? Or where did we come from? So we already tried the small town. Okay, here we go. That's right, this is your shot and you're not going to miss it. Oh. Try to shut out the noise of the arena, focus on cooking. Okay. What is the sound of success? We're gonna go silence. Alright. That's right, when they taste your cooking, they'll be so taken with it that they'll be unable to speak. You notice Colonel Sanders out of the corner of your eye.
I believe in you, LotusLeaf.
He's actually cheering you on. Which would be awesome, except knowing he's watching you makes you totally forget what you were doing. Now all you can think about is Colonel Sanders. How many spoonfuls of gravy? Oh, what? I can't even read that fast enough. What do you think? Get your mind back in the competition. Grr. You are stranded on a desert island with only one dessert cookbook. Which do you take? What a hunk. I know, right? You know what? Shouldn't you be focused on the challenge? You're falling behind. Sorry, I forgot the question. What does that have to do with crafting spectacular fried chicken and delicate baked biscuits? Woof woof. You're really struggling to keep up. At the next station over, Ashley has already begun plating elements of her dish. It's colorful and complex. To make up time, you toss your biscuit dough into a stand mixer. As you do, the crowd gasps. Yikes. I know you lost nothing more than seeing a fellow appliance utilized in a kitchen battle, but sometimes that means sacrificing the personal touch. You might not have any hands, but LotusLeaf does, and a good chef needs to be touching the dough to know when it's properly mixed.
There's an easy way and a hard way. You don't get far by going the easy way.
When you hear everyone talking, you realize how serious your error was. You immediately shove your hand into the mixer to rescue your dough before it's over-mixed. LotusLeaf, no! But you're not fast enough and your hand gets stuck. It's immediately crushed by the spinning beaters. There's no way you'll be able to use that hand for the rest of the match. Colonel Sanders shakes his head in shame.
What you often find is that the easy way can turn out much more difficult.
Everyone, stop what you're doing right now. This battle is over. It can't be. I was so close to finishing my dish. Sweetheart, look at your hand. You simply can't go on. Oh, that's too bad. And here I am, with a completed dish, ready to serve. Surely that makes me the winner, by default. No, it wouldn't be fair to compare the two, on account of LotusLeaf's injury. You see Sprinkles begin to lick his doggy chops as he locks onto the dish. But I suppose you should at least tell us what you prepared. Well, because I'm the sweetest, I skipped straight to dessert. Under this white chocolate dome, you'll find a wide array of delights, taking you on a journey of flavor that tastes good and tells a story of excellence. I was going to ask LotusLeaf to do the honor, but since you're injured, I'm afraid that pouring this creamer of delicate hot chocolate sauce might be too difficult. Colonel Sanders, if you wouldn't mind lending me your strong, steady hand. Colonel Sanders pours the hot chocolate sauce on top of the dome, causing it to melt away, revealing ingredients hidden within. Inside, you'll find a delicate fried cheese croquette chop atop a slice of honeycomb, ice cream 2 ways, tender nougat, and pearls of blueberry gelée. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but I'm gonna go with that. Colonel Sanders seems intrigued, but perhaps not as impressed as he dips his finger in the chocolate sauce.
Simplicity isn't your strong suit, is it, Ashley?
Oh, you. Heh. As he places a sauce-covered finger into his lips, Ashley leans over and whispers something to his ear, a dab of sauce that sticks to his mustache. What are we going to do? We're going to internalize the rage, because I think putting ourselves between Colonel Sanders and Ashley would be very inappropriate, especially after our disgraceful failure just now. Your rage burns so intensely within your eyes that they burst into flames. The flames cause your eyebrows to catch fire and turn to ash, and they fall off of your face, which means that people have a hard time understanding your emotions for the rest of the semester, perhaps forever. Embarrassed and ashamed by your poor performance, not to mention your crispy fried brow, you run for the quad to be alone. The beautiful weather feels like an insult. Inside of you, a storm rages. It's Colonel Sanders. He's probably here to tell you that he and Ashley are in love and decided to get married. And he won't even ask you to cater to his wedding because you're a terrible chef and an awful person. You try to hide from him, but he approaches you directly.
I know you're hurting right now. Not just from the devastating loss, but from that run-in with the mixer and the small fire. You should get that checked out.
I'm fine. Can't you just leave me alone? I'm a loser. I'm not fit to fill your fryer. I'll never be a master chef.
Failure is a part of life. Not just for you, but for all of us. Do you think I've never failed at anything before?
That's exactly what I think.
Well then, think again. I wasn't always the man you see before you. Enrolled in culinary school, incredibly handsome, successful, motivated. Well, handsome, sure. I was born that way. But I walked other paths and arrived at dead ends. I was passionate about life, but I failed as an obstetrician. I was passionate about justice, but I failed as a lawyer. I was passionate about livestock, but I even failed as a mule handler. That one was especially humiliating. Mules can be so cruel. I lost my business partner to a gunfight, and I lost my innocence when I picked up a firearm and put a bullet in my rival. He survived, for a while anyhow.
I didn't know.
People see my delicate ribbon tie and my well-kept beard and assume that I've got it all together, which is true now, but it hasn't always been.
Sounds like this guy could really use a hug.
I resolved then that I was going to amount to something. No amount of hours, labor, or money would deter me from giving the best I had to give.
As Colonel Sanders changes focus, you can see something ignite inside of him. A burning passion.
One has to remember that every failure can be a stepping stone to something better. My new dream is pure. It's honest. It's something that a humble man in a crisp white suit can be proud of. I will create a new chain of chicken restaurants that will bring joy to the entire world and make up for my past misdeeds.
I realized I didn't have a voice for Pop before, so I'll go with this one. Yay! Just as your moment grows intimate, you're interrupted by a threatening, shadowy presence. Battle scarred from the night before, you prepare for the worst. It's the Spork Monster. Borko.
It is I. I know I said I wouldn't be back, and after the whole fight to the death thing, maybe you don't want to see me anymore, but I just want to say that it was wrong to attack you, and I apologize. I know what it's like, always having to look over your shoulder. Monster problems. Am I right?
Ah, thanks, Borko. I'm glad there are no hard feelings. Getting jumped by a giant creature in the dark of night can really rile a person up. I also want to apologize for the way I switched right back into attack mode.
I know that you're strong, and cooking school can put you person under a lot of stress. I actually used to go to the school. I wasn't always a Spork Monster, you see.
I don't believe it. You were human once?
Well, no, I was a golden retriever, but I was still a student until one day came some king kids with a magic spellbook cast a dark enchantment on me, and I was forever transformed.
A magic spellbook.
Precisely, I had procured a copy for myself, but somewhere along the way, I've lost it. If you find such a book, I beg of you, respect it. You're a powerful chef, and shouldn't rely on such dark and evil magic. No, you should be protecting the innocent from those who would cheat them through sorcery and guile. If you need me, don't fear. I will be there.
That sounds like there are bad cooks in the kitchen of life. LotusLeaf, together I am sure we can defeat them. Come back to my hideaway, and we can discuss.
A personal invite. You can't imagine what Colonel Sanders' home must be like, but it sounds like you're about to find out. Stepping inside Colonel Sanders' home, surrounded by his things, you start to feel a special bond with him. It looks like you've lived such an exciting life, Colonel Sanders.
Every day can be an adventure, if you approach it with the right attitude. Long ago, I made the decision to never stop searching, never stop working, never stop imagining. Have you been working on any recipes of your own lately? I'm always excited to talk about food with another ambitious chef.
Well, there is something. It's just a side dish that I've been tinkering with, trying to find the right balance of flavors and textures. I'm not sure I've nailed it yet, but I'm close. Colonel Sanders' eyes perk up as he starts to wonder what dish you might be describing. It's meant to pair with something spicy or something crispy. Both, perhaps? Now you've got him right where you want him. Should you reveal your creation to him or keep it a secret just for you? We're obviously going to reveal it, because it might be something that KFC implements, and I'm trying to wonder what would go good with something spicy. Or, I forgot what the other thing was. You decide you're as ready as you'll ever be to share your original cooking with Colonel Sanders. Before you can talk yourself out of it, you decide to dive in head first. You reach into your lunch bag for a special dish that you've been keeping on ice all day. I present to you my original coleslaw. The shredded cabbage disc glistens with the light of Colonel Sanders' Lux hideaway.
Magnificent!
Together you chow down on the creamy slaw until just a spoonful remains in the bowl.
Do you mind if I hold on to the last bite? I'd like to have it around so that I can admire its taste better, or later, and think back on this moment.
You could offer to make him more, but he seems like a very sentimental kind of guy. Sure, why not?
Please make yourself comfortable. I'll be back in just a moment.
You realize now would be the perfect time to do some snooping. Around the room are various items that you can look closer at. Each item seems to radiate memories and emotions. Tap out an item to discover more about the Colonel. Let's see, this chicken figurine first. You notice the really realistic stuffed chicken sitting on the corner table. When you pick it up, you realize it isn't just realistic, it's real. To taxidermy must have been important to Colonel Sanders when it was alive. A little note clipped to the chicken's foot reads, "The true state of bird. The true state bird of the great state of Kentucky." Is that true? Tap an item to discover more. Okay. Let's take a look at let's go with the urn for now. Take a closer look at the large urn sitting on the nearby pedestal. There's a plaque on it. It's dusty, but when you wipe it off, you can read the inscription. I hope it's not someone's ashes. It says, "Here lie the ashes of all my past careers and business failures." Poor guy. Alright. An adorable baby boy crawls across the floor. From the goatee and mustache combo he sports, you figure this must be the Colonel Sanders himself. That, or maybe it's the drumstick that he seems to waving like a rattle. Who frames a baby picture of just themselves? Probably the same type of person who would make their own face the logo of the company they founded, Am I right? Tap and I discover more about the Colonel. Let's not quite go to the door yet. Let's see how this goes. This must be where he keeps the secret recipe. You think for a moment, what number is important to Colonel Sanders? Then it dawns on you. As soon as you turn the dial to 111111, the safe opens. Inside it, you find a single note. Can chicken be prepared sashimi style? Absolutely not. What's this? You gaze out the window across a vast lake and the mountain range beyond. Just then, the ghost of the student pops up. Are you thinking about heading out into the world on a quest to avenge my death? Wait, what? I never even learned your name. Why would I avenge you? I could just tell you my name right now. Can't you see I'm in the middle of something? You open the window a crack and the ghost of the student is swept out with a breeze. The photo appears to be Colonel Sanders, except he's an old man visiting the pyramids of Egypt. Maybe this is where he discovered one of his secret herbs and spices. One of the framed photos shows an old man who looks a bit like Colonel Sanders standing with a friend. They hold fried chicken drumsticks and appear to be cheersing them. First of all, I don't see any chicken drumsticks that they're holding. He's holding a cane and the guy's shoulder. And this guy's... I'm not sure what he's holding, but... yeah. Maybe his other hand, or maybe that's a sleeve, I don't know. But yeah. Okay, there's a short inscription. I wonder who my friend Pete is. Alright. Oh. Let's see this. A scented candle. You pick it up and try to identify the smell. Power tool. Freshly starched collar. Piece of wood floating in a lake. Summer of '69. No, it's one of those secret ingredients. It's a lock of silver hair is woven through the teeth of the comb. Upon further inspection, you realize that the hair therein isn't just silver in color, it's actually made of spun silver. Alright, I think that's all of them. You open the door to Colonel Sanders' closet and find a row of his signature white suits hanging within. You take one off its hanger and try it on. The jacket is a bit big for you, but it's soft and comfortable. You give yourself a deep hug, breathing in his scent. They say that home is where the heart is. Is this what they meant? Before you can look any further, you hear Colonel Sanders returning. He has a new dish that he has been working on, and he wants you to taste it. You try to act casual, until he asks you why you're wearing his jacket.
Aww.
I don't usually loan those out, but I must say it does look good on you.
Oh crap, the jacket. You've got to take it off. Okay, looks like two of these are roughly the same. Or is this just tell the truth about snooping around? We'll just tell him the truth. You confess. I think I've developed feelings for you.
I might be developing feelings for you too. But I'm concerned. I can't let anything get in the way of my dreams.
Overwhelmed, you take off the jacket and run for the door. But the thought of leaving Colonel in the midst of such an emotional breakthrough gives you pause. You stop yourself. Colonel.
Yes, LotusLeaf.
I honestly think that this may be the beginning of something wonderful.
I think you're right. We should take things slow.
You talk late into the night and drift off into a slumber. Dream sequence. Okay. You awake to a beautiful morning in Colonel Sanders' hideaway. Did you make the right decision on how to respond to Colonel Sanders? Only time will truly tell. Today is a day that could change the rest of your life. You think about the new secret ingredient you just learned about. In some jurisdictions, it isn't even legal. But if the recipe is a secret, how will they know? Your thoughts are interrupted when Colonel Sanders emerges into the room. He's holding a gorgeously plated breakfast, and your mouth waters at the sight of it.
There's a simple breakfast I just whipped up.
It's meticulous. Wow, chicken biscuits. What a surprise. You taste Colonel Sanders' food, and it takes you on a journey. When you return, he's waiting to ask you an important question.
So, would you say that we're the perfect match?
How presumptuous.
My cuisine and your taste buds, that is.
Such confidence, such grace. Could he be the world's greatest gift of cookery? Let's flatter him. You know, I think we might make a great team. A single tear begins to pool in the corner of his eye as he gazes out the window.
And with the right business partner, I know that I can't fail.
Business partner? Could he be talking to you? It's all happening so quickly. Overcome with emotion and confused by your feelings, you're on the verge of tears. Unable to speak, the only answer you can find is to run out the door and get home. There's still one more day of school after all. The University of Cooking School. Academy for Learning waits for no one. You get home to find something very surprising. Your best friend is there waiting for you. Huh, what have you been? Because I had one heck of a night. I've been desperate to talk to you about it, but I couldn't find you. I got worried that something might have happened to you. It's okay, I was just... Well, now that it turns out you're fine, I can finally get you up to speed on the saga of Miriam. Sure, but... You will not believe what happened to me after school yesterday. I went on a date. I think I can believe that. Since I've been partnered up with Clank, he asked me to go out with him. Of course I told him, you better keep your dials turned up polite and respectful. I'm not that kind of girl. But he was just interested in spending some one-on-one time together and getting to know me, so I said, yeah, sure. I can get to know the little metallic guy. Long story short, he took me skydiving with his friends, but things quickly spiraled out of control. Did she just say skydiving as if that's a typical first date to go on with a talking pressure cooker? And now I'm not really sure where we stand. You don't give Miriam time to tell her whole story, however. Bottling up the details of your own night is just too much to bear. And I went on a date too, back to Colonel Sanders' house where I spent the night with him. You what? Nothing happened, but the emotional connection, wowzers. Miriam tells you to move on from this whole Colonel Sanders obsession and focus on school. If being obsessed with Colonel Sanders is wrong, you don't want to be right. After a short argument, you both agree to go your separate ways. What? When you arrive at school, you encounter your rivals in the quad. You can tell from a distance that they're picking up Pop, but he himself might not quite grasp that fact. Because, you know, he's Pop.
What's a swirly? It sounds delicious.
Oh, it's great. I'll order you one up right away.
I'll have my swirly with sprinkles, please. Sprinkles is a dog and a treat.
You can get your swirly dipped too. Why don't you go pick on someone your own size? Because I'm literally the biggest person at this school. There is that horse that Colonel Sanders rides to school, but who would dare pick on such a gentle and beautiful creature? You've got some nerve, LotusLeaf, suggesting I pick on a defenseless horse. Now you're testing my words and I won't have it. You clench your fist, but the injury from yesterday's mixer accident makes you wince with pain. Doesn't look like you can go on cooking like that. Might as well give up. I'll never give up, ever. Colonel Sanders arrives just as it appears things are close to boiling over. A naturally intuitive person, he senses that something has been going on.
Is everyone excited for the final day of school? LotusLeaf, how's that hand feeling? I'm sure you'll be back in fighting form by this afternoon.
Aren't you concerned about my hands, Colonel? Yesterday, I almost broke a nail winning so hard.
Technically, I don't believe a winner was decided, but your presentation was quite impressive.
What is he doing complimenting her? But what about the flavor of my delicate, warm, gooey chocolate sauce?
It was clear that you're passionate about how your food is received.
That's a lot of words to say it was bland.
Excuse me, LotusLeaf. I am more than capable enough to speak for myself.
Maybe you could tell me more of your thoughts as we walk into class, Colonel.
I'm always interested in discussing the fine art of fine foods. See you inside, LotusLeaf.
Annoyed by Colonel Sanders' inability to see Ashley for who you know she really is, you could walk across the quad to get some distance. In an attempt to distract yourself from how slighted you feel by the interaction with Ashley, you take out the spellbook you recovered yesterday and start flipping through the pages. Oh, what's with that book? It looks like bad news. It's just something I found lying around. It would appear to be some sort of grimoire, but I don't believe in magical stuff. A grimoire? Like a book of spells? I don't know. Who would spend so much time decorating a magic book if it weren't really powerful? I can think of one surefire way to find out. You open to a book, you open to a page covered with arcane warnings. Cast only in case of extreme emergency, it says around the edges of the page. I could use this spell here that says it will erase any one I choose from all of my memories. If I scrubbed out Colonel Sanders, it would probably help me focus better on the upcoming final exam. That is way drastic. Couldn't you do something else, like anything else? Not rooted in dark magic. Maybe tie a string around your finger. Okay, fine, it is drastic, but desperate times call for desperate measures. You've got a memory erasing spell sitting right in front of you, and a pretty good excuse to try it out. This is quite interesting. But we're going pretty logical, so we're not going to do it after all. You take your friend's advice and put the book away. It's almost time for class. Sprinkles is already in the room waiting for the students to arrive. He clears his voice to make a quick announcement. I want you all to know I feel something of a dog moment coming on, but I assure you it's nothing to be afraid of. His cute little nose scrunches up and he begins to breathe quickly. Let's see. He must be hungry, reach for some old homework to give him a snack, or dogs can be rather unpredictable, especially Sprinkles. Wait to see what happens. Let's see. Sprinkles stops in his tracks. He focuses in on the window. The room is deadly silent. When you follow his gaze, you see a tiny orange squirrel perched on the cherry tree outside. Sprinkles turns feral and runs to the window of the classroom. He begins barking uncontrollably at the squirrel outside. Terrence, I told you to never come back here, Terrence. I will destroy you, Terrence. Sprinkles is barking ferociously, drool flying off his face. The squirrel looks over, but he doesn't say anything back. You wonder, is that even a talking squirrel? Who named him Terrence? You better not show your chubby cheeks around here ever again. After Sprinkles is satisfied that his presence has been felt not only by Terrence but any other squirrel in the hearing distance, he returns to his professorial tone. I apologize for the outburst. This actually brings up an important point. Thank you, LotusLeaf, for reminding me to dole out this indispensable bit of wisdom. You see, before you can go any further, Miriam's love drama spills over into the class. Sprinkles is interrupted by words and sparks coming from the back of the room. I told you not to save it for after class. You think I wanted to be thrown from a plane strapped to a stranger? Miriam and Clank appear to be arguing, but you still haven't learned to speak Clank's language of mechanical voices. But no, you had to show off your cool kid. You had to show off to your cool kid friends, Jeff and Joan, J and J forever. Watch us form a triangle in midair as we descend. Triangles are the strongest shape, don't you know? Yeah, well, that doesn't make it a great date. Then take Jeff and John with you. You can hold hands with as you pedal down the mountain, or off a cliff for all I care. Clank begins to shudder. Steam pours out of the gaps in his panels, and then a loud ding stops him in his tracks. No amount of seasoning is gonna make me want to eat that, Clank. Clank burps out a completely deep-fried sneaker. Considering that he himself has wheels, not feet, it's not entirely clear where it came from. In terms of deep-fried footwear, I think I should say, I guess it looks okay. Clank slowly rolls out of the room to be alone with this shoe. Everyone tries to pretend like they didn't see that entire thing go down. Nothing like a loud public breakup to cast a spell over the final day of school. Well, that was unfortunate. But we mustn't be distracted from what lies ahead. The final competition showdown challenge exam. I'm still working on the title, but I think you get it. Test time approaches. See you all in the arena. Excuse me as I take a quick water break and some ASMR for you to enjoy. Okay. But before you can think about your upcoming competition, there's a very beautiful soul nearby in need of a pep talk. Hey Miriam, are you okay? Okay, I'm so mad I could smash a tiny mug into... I'm so mad I could smash a tiny mug, spilling several droplets of hot cocoa all over the floor. How could he embarrass me in class like that, in front of everyone? Her tiny coca is a delicious treasure, so you know that this breakup is no joke, even if the source of her frustration is such a silly boy. I know that you know this, but I'm gonna say it out loud. You don't need anyone. Me and you, we're gonna cruise through this final test and hit the carpool lane to Success City. Miriam brightens up, imagining the wind rushing through her short bangs, but she hesitates to embrace the feeling all the way. You're not gonna saddle up on Colonel Sanders' stallion and ride off into the sunset without me? Of course not. Well, maybe, sorta, but I'm sure there's a pony out there with your name on it, and a ranch big enough for both of us, and whoever else we want to bring along. If it's not Pop or Clank, anyone else you meet today, tomorrow, or this whole year, so what? You're a special person who shouldn't settle for the first someone to show a little interest anyhow. Miriam gives you a big hug and wipes the tear from her cheeks. I should really review my menu for today. I'm going to make a very special soup. And I bet that Professor Dog is gonna love it up. While you were pep talking Miriam, you completely missed lunch, but that's okay, because you had a better idea of how to spend the time before your exam. You decide to head to the battle arena to practice a dish. This is it, the location of your final challenge, a test of will, a test of courage, a test of talent, and a chance to beat the pants off Van Van, the supposed man, and his evil counterpart Ashley. As planned, you begin to run through a quick test of a recipe you've been working on, LotusLeaf's famous chicken pot pie. After practicing for months, making this dish comes second nature to you, and you're quickly able to get a fresh pot pie in the oven. But as soon as you do, your cram session is interrupted by Colonel Sanders.
LotusLeaf, what are you doing here? There's still time before the exam.
Oh, just taking it all in. I'm big into visualizing success. I'm looking at my station and picturing victory. The pot pie has begun to bake, and the smell is slowly filling the space around you.
Visualizing, huh? That's too bad. I was hoping you were here cooking something delicious.
You'd usually happily share your food with anyone who's hungry. The last time you let Colonel Sanders get in your head, it cost you a cook-off. You decide it's time to put your cooking above your romantic desires. But that decision gets hard to stick to when the oven timer goes off behind you. We're going to fuss up. Okay, you got me. I'm doing a little more than visualizing.
I know. My nose can smell a pot pie from 400 yards.
That's an oddly specific distance, but you'd expect nothing less from such an oddly specific man. You knew it was a pot pie from the smell?
Not just a pot pie, but a chicken pot pie, with an all-butter crust. And my nose is telling me something else.
Oh no, was it burning?
No. I can smell that it was made with a heaping helping of TLC. It'll probably start burning any second if you don't pull it out.
The moment of truth.
Wow. It's the best pot pie I've ever tasted. I've always loved country cooking, and I could eat this all day.
There's no time left. The final showdown is about to begin. Sprinkles lay down the ground rules. There are no rules, that is, except to cook with everything you got. You step up for the cook-off of a lifetime. You decide that mac and cheese plus the pot pie you've been practicing are just the dishes that'll push you over to the edge of victory. Meanwhile, both Van and Ashley are prepping wildly elaborate dishes per their usual over-the-top selves. Miriam has her giant magnifying glass and several sets of tweezers. She's definitely prepared to go big, going small. Colonel Sanders seems to be harnessing his 11 herbs and spices, but he's trying to find a way to improve on something perfect. His original recipe fried chicken. The intensity in the room starts at a full 10 out of 10 with a frenzy of action. Everyone is calling out really cool special cooking moves as they prepare your food. Wow, this is getting serious. Colonel Sanders batters his chicken as it levitates through the air.
Egg wash.
Miriam fiercely injects ingredients into an itty-bitty pot of broth. Best friend, Baster Blaster. Van flexes his pectorals as he chops open a sea urchin. Let's rock and ride. Ashley scoops her pastries off the tray with lightning speed. Shallow personality spatula. Even Clank gets in on it. 5 dial pressure point chicken cooking technique. Wait, when did Clank learn to speak English? It's the singularity, as was foretold. We mustn't let it happen, or the appliance uprising will take us all. Self-dist. Van quickly unplugs Clank and rolls him out the back door of the arena. As you frantically prepare your dish, you notice that Ashley has her spellbook out. Is she going to use some dark magic to turn the tide? You've got a book of your own, and you're desperate not to see her win another battle. Should you take this opportunity to fight magic with magic, even if it's almost certainly evil magic? Absolutely not. Who needs magic when you've got passion? I'm going to do it the hard way. Colonel Sanders sees that you've chosen to win on your own terms, and he gives you a subtle wink from across the room.
I believe in you, LotusLeaf.
Miriam notices too.
Aww.
I've always believed in you, LotusLeaf. Since we were little kids, because I'm your best friend forever. You turn to notice Miriam is at your station cheering for you. Miriam, what about your dish? If you're here cheering, who's cooking? Plenty food, short cook time. I'm actually already done, so I thought I'd help you. Oh, that's sweet, but... Miriam tosses a handful of spices directly into your boiling noodles.
Uh-huh.
It's the secret ingredient. However, neither of you know that Colonel Sanders made that first ingredient up to throw you off the trail of the secret recipe. The boiling pot explodes, sending Miriam flying backwards, the watery noodles beneath a swirl in the air bubbling up into a dark cloud that thickens and congeals before your very eyes.
It is I, Steve, the Spark Monster.
Steve? Wait, what happened to Borko? You're not here to battle me, are you?
We Spark Monsters are many. I think Borko had the day off, but we have conjured Steve, and I hate the battle, so I'd say you're doing pretty alright. Oh hey, you're in the middle of a cooking competition. I love this stuff, it's better than TV. You crazy kids and your culinary skills really impress me. Mind if I hang out?
Sorry Steve, I'm in the middle of something. Do you mind? Steve, the Spork Monster, notices that you've got the grimoire stashed beneath your cooking station.
I see what you're up to. Crisscross some magical items and accidentally summon me, huh?
Yeah, you guessed it, sorta. If you're here, would you mind tossing some fresh noodles into a pot of salted water?
I'd love to. I've always wanted to be a top chef, actually. You know, when I was just a little spork pop back in the old country.
You can feel Sporkmonster winding up to tell a long and involved story. You don't know exactly where he came from, but it seems like it was probably lonely there. Actually, you know what? Maybe you should watch from the stands. I really need to focus on this competition.
I understand. It's kind of like that time in monster school that I'd fallen asleep in character tactics class, and when I woke up,
You toss a stare at Steve, and he takes the hint.
never mind, I'll tell you later, good luck.
Having suffered this huge setback, you don't know how you could ever win. We're always gonna summon extra power from deep down within ourselves. I can do this. I have what it takes. I came here to win. Your hair turns mac and cheese orange as culinary energy flows through your body. My heart is pure, my hands are steady. My taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for... Yes, LotusLeaf, you are the chosen one. You will avenge me. The power you've been summoning immediately fades back out. You interrupted my inspiring monologue. Sorry. My heart is pure, my hands are steady, my taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for this moment. I will show the world my cookery. You begin to levitate off the ground. Energy courses through your body. You know that with this power you can do anything. Except turn back time, which would be super useful because while you were powering up your chicken pot pie overcooked in the oven, it can't be served. But don't worry, dear LotusLeaf, you may have suffered some setbacks, but all is not lost. Impressed with your fortitude, Colonel Sanders decides that you have earned his support.
I've been watching you today, and I must say, I'm truly impressed. You've been thinking on your feet and rolling with the punches.
He steps up to your station and stands right beside you.
I'm here to help.
All you managed to make is mac and cheese, and by the time is almost up, so you're going to need it. But Colonel Sanders, what about the test? What will happen to you? What about the rules?
Following the rules have just been my thing. I follow my heart.
What a guy. Colonel Sanders unfolds a delicate white towel to reveal the most delicious fried chicken tenders you've ever laid your eyes on.
And besides, sometimes unexpected combinations can have surprising effects that surpass their individual efforts.
Are you suggesting?
If we combine forces, we can form the perfect food union.
Time is up, my students. With time expired, it's the moment everyone has been waiting for. You must now prepare to present your dishes. A handful of students stand tall, but the class seems incomplete. It seems we're missing some of our students. Pop, Clank. From off-screen you hear a pure and innocent eagle that can only come from one student.
Ha ha ha! I'm flying!
It sounds like it's coming from that broom closet over there. Miriam, would you mind? Inside the closet you see Pop hanging on a broom hook by the elastic of his underpants. Pop, get down from there right now. Let me guess, did Van have something to do with this? When someone asks for a wedgie, who am I to refuse?
I thought a wedgie was a salad.
It looks like Pop is eliminated from the challenge. Sorry, wrong voice. It looks like Pop is eliminated from the challenge, seeing how he didn't cook anything.
I can't feel my legs. May I be excused?
Sure. You kids and your pranks. I must say it's not the worst prank in UCSAL history, but it's not exactly yearbook material. Wait a second, pranks, Clank. Where did that pressure cooker roll off to? You wait to hear a signature word beep or other onomatopoeia, but there's none. Somehow he must have gotten unplugged, I guess. We'll have to figure that out later. That leaves only 4 remaining students. Please collect your final projects. Yes, it has been a long semester. It's been 3 days. What are you talking about? Wow, 3 whole days long. But days after days of hard work, the time has come. For me to eat. Miriam, please step forward. Now describe your dish. I've made tender udon noodles and savory soup. My word, it's so delicate. Is that a teeny tiny Naruto Maki I spy floating in this itsy bitsy bowl? Yes, chef. Please call me Sprinkles. Chef is my father's name. Yes, Sprinkles. And some green tea I made from baby leaves that I picked up myself. Sprinkles carefully sniffs around the dish before opening up his mouth and letting just the tip of his pink dog tongue dip into the bowl. Sorry, quick water break. More ASMR for some people. Sublime. Would anyone else like a taste? Oh, come on, I'm not one of those dogs who doesn't floss. I even have a really cute electric toothbrush for dogs. Fine, I'll enjoy it all by myself. And in a flash, the entire meal has been devoured. Not that it took much, it was less than a thimble's worth of soup. A+. Rarely do I taste a dish with as much love poured into it as yours. Miriam's overjoyed. She gives you a big hug. Thank you, LotusLeaf, for helping me to believe in myself. Van, you're up. Now describe your dish. I made uni over smooth egg custard and axe-hewn urchin shell topped with caviar. Did you skewer one type of urchin with spines from a second, different colored type of urchin? Yes, Sprinkles. A bit much, don't you think? That's exactly why I did it. A bit much is kind of my brand. Doesn't it look cool? Sprinkles leans in to sniff the uni, but he can't get his dog nose close on account of all the spikes. He begins to paw at it erratically, causing the custard to slosh around. Woof woof. Please be gentle with my cuisine. Grr. Finally, Sprinkle goes all in, tongue first, but he can't get past all the needles. He reels back as his tongue is poked and prodded. Youch, my tongue. The professor appears to be having an allergic reaction to the sting. I can't eat this. He keeps poking my tongue. Disqualified. A stunning turn of events. Who would have thought serving food in a bowl made of needles could make it difficult to eat? Dejected, Van does not go gentle into the night. Disqualified for glamour. Don't disc in simplicity. This isn't the last you've heard of me. Before forcing us to endure his swollen tongue for another moment, Sprinkles graciously laps up a bowl of milk. I know. Yeah, I'm a dog and I drink milk. Get over it. Sometimes it helps calm my agitated tongue. Next student. Ashley, it's time to step up. Now, describe your dish. I made orange blossom, Turkish delight, and a light rosewater syrup topped with French meringue and connected by sugar glass. That's actually really cool. That actually doesn't sound too bad. Indeed, it's quite delightful. However, I'd ask that you please refrain from eating it or attempting to taste it anyway. It's very fragile and meant to be on a display piece. Don't eat the food at a cooking school. Got toast in your ears or something, LotusLeaf? I told you, it's a display piece. Ashley, I must say, it is beautiful. However, this is a cooking competition at a cooking school. Yes, which is why I cooked it, and did an extremely good job cooking it too. I didn't realize that we were having an eating exam. If I wanted to be judged on eating, I'd go to the College of Eating, School for the Hungry. I suppose you could smell it if you absolutely insisted, but don't breathe too hard. You might disrupt the sugar spiral. If the food cannot be eaten, it cannot be judged. You are disqualified. Rage overtakes Ashley and she finally cannot keep her two-faced routine up. You wouldn't know high-end cuisine if it cooked you. And with that, Ashley storms off to rededicate herself to being the best, but this time without being shackled by trying to be fake nice and liked by everyone. This isn't the last you've heard of me, either. If this class gets much smaller, I'll be teaching myself. You and Colonel Sanders, the final cooks, step up together. 2 chefs. What began as a delicious bowl of mac and cheese
has become something else.
He examines it closely, sniffing and eyeing the bowl. Uh-oh, I don't have a good feeling about this. From somewhere in the room, a literal drum roll plays. Just when I thought I've seen everything in this kitchen, you give me this thing, and completely blow me away. In my 49 dog years of life, I've never tasted anything so delicious and perfectly balanced. It's so delicious, in fact, that everyone passes the class. You pass, and you pass, and you get a pass. Everyone gathers around and partakes of the mac and cheese bowl. They all seem to transcend this reality into another dimension. You win. Together, you and Colonel Sanders have made a new menu item. The new menu item is so impressive that even Van and Ashley are drawn back by its magnetic fragrance. When they gaze upon your mac and cheese bowl, they admit that you are indeed an excellent chef. Sprinkles declares that you have passed. Everyone has passed. There were supposed to be more battles, but come on, how could they be better than this one? Now that the school year is complete and everyone has graduated, the students return for one last assignment, to get their groove on. The cafeteria has been redecorated in order to serve as the site of the school's graduation dance. Well, I hate to say it, but we've hit the 1 hour and 2 minute mark, so I'm going to stop for now. Let's see if we can... actually... this can't take too long, I think. Compared to the massive high-tech cooking arena, the humble decor, it seems downright cute and cozy. DJ is in the house. You knew that Sprinkles is a master chef, but also a world-renowned turntablist who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Van and Ashley tell everyone that they've committed themselves to righting the wrongs they did while they were the villains. For a moment, you actually believe them. Not another haunting. No ghosts allowed at graduation. It's clearly written in the school's bylaws. I was never actually a ghost. It was all a trick to get you to finally notice me. Oh, amusing. And now that everyone's together. It's the sport monster. Yes, totally mellowed out.
Everyone, the Spork Monster's no more. From here out, I prefer that everyone refer to my new name. Party Monster.
Student tries to finish what he has to say, but everyone is too wrapped up talking to Party Monster. Dejected, student walk off. Maybe things didn't work out for Miriam romantically, but she found the love in her cooking, and you know she's gonna do great. A red carpet rolls out across the floor from the ballroom. It's like a Hollywood movie premiere. Who could command such an entrance? Who do you think? It's Pop. He arrived late to the dance, but apparently for good reason. Walking the carpet, you see perched atop his dirty chef's hat. A crown? Welcome back, Pop. I know you weren't able to complete the final exam and accept your diploma, so we had it mailed directly to your father. We figured it was the least we could do for the school's dean. Oh, now I get it. And we get a new wing on the school, not to mention the honor of educating the son of Chancellor such and such. I'm sensing a huge nepotism problem at this school. The music at the dance is interrupted by the sound of sparking and electrical hissing. It's Clank who has arrived late to the dance. Now that I have graduated, I can reveal my truth. Whoa, he's still doing the talking thing. I am Clank, and I am not of this earth. I am actually from a faraway planet in another dimension. What? What? I actually feel like I knew this the whole time. Now that I have learned the ways of your kind, I must return. Miriam, will you come with me? I don't know what to say. Besides, no, obviously. I have just begun to learn who I really am. This isn't the time for me to devote my life to figuring out who you are, Clank. You're blown away by Miriam's maturity. It's pretty clear that she managed to surpass you in that regard. I understand, kind of. Humans are weird. The portal opens up and Clank disappears through it. Finally, Colonel Sanders arrives.
Howdy, classmates.
Just like the first day you met him, he has come prepared to feed the entire class. However, it's not enough to give them a buck of chicken. This time it's a full meal.
I didn't get to be the most famous chicken man in history of chicken and man by not reminding people to go out and buy my chicken.
The end. No, it's not the end. As everyone feasts on their delicious chicken dinner, Colonel Sanders finds you sitting at the edge of the dance floor. Colonel Sanders.
Yes, LotusLeaf.
I couldn't help but wonder. Was our final exam team up purely an act of strategy carried out by two cunning chefs, or was it something more?
I'm afraid I can't answer that question directly. Instead, I'd like to ask you a question of my own. May I have this do-si-do?
Colonel Sanders extends his hand to you, and you feel a surge of energy to jump off the tips of his fingers. His hand. The hand of a master chef, so dedicated to the craft of fine cookery, so tender yet refined. So milky smooth, fingers like finely battered drumsticks, turned into flour, soaked in buttermilk, and dusted with exotic spices. But they do not reach for the tongs, a knife, or even a spork. Tonight they reach for you.
And though our feet may tire of dancing, I believe that this is just the beginning of our steps together.
Colonel Sanders,
Will you not only join me on the dance floor, but in the kitchen, as my co-chef and partner in both business and life?
You gasp. Could it be? Is he really saying, me and you, together?
Ever since I met you, my dream has changed. It's not enough to simply open the world's greatest chain of fried chicken restaurants. No, even then, my life would be incomplete without you by my side. So what do you say, partner?
I say, I love you, Colonel Sanders. The for real end? Wow, that was a life-changing 3 days. Overwhelmed by everything that just happened between you and Colonel Sanders, you step outside to get some air. The quad is dark and quiet. Too quiet. You start to smell something salty, potatoey, gravy. Just then, Spork Monster appears.
Hi, LotusLeaf. You had some pretty sweet dance moves back there.
Why, thank you. You weren't too shabby yourself. The moonwalk you did was pretty cool.
Oh, you noticed. I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, I had something to ask you. You see, life as a potato-like creature is difficult, and I have no place to call home other than people's nightmares.
Oh, I had no idea.
I was wondering if I may go home with you, permanently. I run out and get the paper in the morning and everything. What do you say?
Why not?
My hero. I will forever be in your debt.
The end. Seriously though, it really is this time. Sorry, just a little bit of water ASMR for you there. Alright, well, that's the end. I guess. I mean, I don't think anything else has changed, so... Yep, so there we are. Took 2 days, about 2 hours and 10 minutes. I mean, I guess I didn't do a full playthrough, but that is it. I guess it was an interesting story. Thanks for watching.